Howdy. Oh, phone slipping. Such a technical dunce. Right. I am videoing this because I can't get Facebook Live to work on my phone, and I don't have a webcam here at work. Go figure. But, not going to believe this. Well, actually, you are going to believe it because it's a shit fight and a schmozzle, the NDIS. Right, so, I'd say about 25-30 minutes ago, I got a call from a person at the NDIS who told me he was calling to follow up on the independent assessment pilot that I had undergone. So I was ready to give him a serving, but I didn't. I just listened. So what he said that they've had some quality checks and they've done some auditing on an element of the independent assessment that I underwent, that many have underwent, right? And he said that this has been identified across the board as a problem with one particular diagnostic in the independent assessment that I underwent. That particular item or diagnostic tool was the VINELAND. So, his words. The results have been flagged inconsistency. So there's inconsistencies. When the data was entered, there have been errors and a glitch. So he'd like to send me a revised copy of my VINELAND and just checking that my email was still correct and to send it to me. So what I have here, guys, is a copy of my VINELAND as it was given to me by the NDIS when I asked under Freedom of Information a couple of months ago. And this was one of the results, only one element of the overall results that I was highly, highly concerned about. And you might be able to pick up why in a second, but I'm going to turn it around. So the VINELAND looks across 4 domains, and then they give you, again, a lovely aggregate overall kind of ranking, right? And out of the rankings, there's 5 available. So there's low, moderately low, adequate, moderately high, and high. Okay? So basically, and the 4 domains are communication skills, daily living skills, social skills and relationships, and motor skills. All right? Now, the other element of the VINELAND that I just want to bring your attention to as well, and it states here, to determine the level of a person's adaptive behaviour, someone who knows them well, which can be a family member or a person who provides support, is asked to describe how they function in their daily lives. Okay? So in this case, Aaron's adaptive behaviours were described by Jennifer, my wife, during an interview with Benji, the physio. So, my results as per the first time I asked for my independent assessments, before I got this phone call from the gentleman at the NDIS, here are the 4 domains. Okay, so there's communication, daily living. This is probably going to be backwards on your screen. I'm sorry about that, guys. Social skills and relationships, and motor skills. So, if we look across here, you can see how it says communication skills moderately high, daily living skills moderately high, social skills and relationships high, motor skills not applicable, and then, sorry, it's on another page, but the very last result there is that overall summary score is moderately high. That concerned me because I know that I'm not that well functioning. Right? So that was one of the things that made me go, oh my God, Jen, did you tell him that I was having like a really brilliant life that I'm not aware of? Which she kind of said, no, I didn't. I told him what was actually going on for you. So the interesting part of this is that I have now received my revised VINELAND after the unexpected glitch has been sorted out. I think that glitch is incompetency and untrained Benjis out there in the world. So again, everything says the same, that it was, the adaptive behaviours were described by my wife, Jen. So I just have to say, guys, I'm going to show you this score. So bear a thought for Jen when she has to put up with me, basically, because these are my revised and apparently accurate scores. I'd love to see if they come back to me again and say, actually, whatever. But these are my scores as per the revision. So same criteria there, or same, adaptive behaviour area. So communication, daily living skills, social skills and relationship, motor skills, and overall. And you can see the difference here now. Moderately low, low, still not applicable, I can still get around, and moderately low. Bit of a fucking difference there, guys. Went all the way past adequate wasn't even mentioned, from moderately high, and on social skills and relationships here, social skills and relationships on this one here was high. Now, I can tell you, I've got my best friend and admin assistant sitting here, Amanda, who's known me since I was 13 and she was 12. I can tell you that the biggest area that I struggle in is social skills and relationships. And it might not seem it through these videos because I'm quite, chatty or whatever, and I'm quite upbeat. But I can tell you that that's not an accurate reflection of me in a social situation where I'm required to reciprocate, or I've been put on the spot, or something challenging has happened, etc. So this by far is a much more accurate reflection of where I sit in the world. Communication skills, I'm actually a lot better at written communication than I am having a chat with you on the phone. I don't often chat on the phone, actually, unless I have to. It's usually done via email or text. With Amanda and I, it's meme wars. We just meme each other all night until 11 o'clock at night. Obviously, we've got nothing better to do. Daily living skills being moderately low. Again, I think people take a look at me and go, you're always in a business shirt and you're always quite tidy. That's a bit of the autism, having to look a particular way and having a set criteria of what I want to wear for the day. I tried to explain to somebody the other day that if my morning doesn't go the way that it's meant to go, with items being where they should be, etc., it throws out my entire day, right? So my adaptive behaviour in that is that I've learnt to look in my cupboards and bits and pieces as to what I'm going to wear the next day. I don't always do it, and sometimes that can lead to chaos. If I get a shirt with a stain on it, I don't think to kind of, casually take that off and put it back in the washing basket. Sometimes that results in me ripping it apart to the point where I can't wear it anymore and it goes in the bin anyway. So social skills and relationships. Amanda's been my friend now for way, way too long. And that friendship literally came about because she walked up to me at school and said, "Oi, come and sit with us." And she hasn't shook me in the 20-odd years after that. Would I have had friendships at school if I hadn't have been approached by people? Probably not. I used to spend pretty much every lunchtime in the library. I think I was actually at that school for a good 3 to 6 months before anyone actually approached me and said, you're a bit of a weirdo. We don't know what you are. You're an unknown quantity. Actually, at that time, there was lots of speculation as to whether I was a boy or a girl. Had a bit of a mullet, wore the boys' uniform. Pretty sure I had boobs, though. Maybe they thought they were man boobs. I don't know. Anyway, there's lots of confusion about that, but Amanda kind of came up to me and said, "Hey, everyone's asking this question, by the way." So we'll just, clarify, and off you come and sit with us. She can also attest that I didn't stay with one clique at school. I floated around, and I floated around because I think I found it really challenging to sit with one group of people for prolonged periods of time because I didn't keep up with what was going on, and I couldn't always reciprocate. They'd be talking about stuff that they had going on, and I'd be like, I didn't pick up that was something that I needed to care about, or that I should ask you about again, or I'm not fussed about what's going on with you. Thanks very much. Let's talk about Star Trek, Star Wars, or whatever. Terry Pratchett, can talk about that stuff. But yeah, I used to float around to different cliques. I think the only thing I had going for me is that people thought I was funny, right? So I was a bit of a comedian, class clown. But really, the fact of the matter is, how concerned should you be, right? When these pieces of paper are going to be used to create your aggregate score of funding, right? And let's face it, we all know how hard it is to challenge the NDIS on anything they decide or whatever. So it slightly concerns me that, Benjamin has, I don't know, there was a glitch in the system or whatever it was. And I think it's literally that Benjamin probably didn't put the scores in the right spot. He's put it in this column instead of that column. And that comes down to, lack of training or whatever it is. But if this stuff is going to be rolled out and decides a level of funding for people, it's slightly concerning that they can come back now. When did I have that? I had that in February. I had my IA in February, guys. March, April, May, 3 months later, they've come back and said, actually, you're not quite as well-functioning as we thought you were. Well, thanks, Ben. I knew that, and I tried to express that. And that's just one element of it, guys. That's the VINELAND. That doesn't take into consideration the cans that I had. I took exception to because it didn't put down self-harm. So that's a real massive worry when that comes back. And I've just been sitting here laughing about it with Amanda explaining what it was as opposed to apparently what it is. And when she saw Hi there, I think she cackled like a Orwellian witch, because she knows she's laughing now because she knows it's not true. She's like, yeah, right, you don't function. The reason that Amanda and I work together is A, Amanda needed a job, but B, she's one of the only people that'll put up with me in an office at this proximity, or about, a metre apart. So when I start, having a Tourette's moment and swearing off my tree, or I'm, whatever it is, Amanda doesn't take umbrage to that and take me to Fair Work. She probably should, anyway. But I think I don't necessarily work well in a conventional office with others. I don't play in the sandpit very well. So, and it's been a problem for me my whole life. I've jumped in and out of jobs. I'm good at what I do, and people recognise that. But dealing with me, love my outcomes, don't love me. I'm too much for people, I think. So I tend to get a lot of kind of project work where I can get in and out in 3 to 6 months, turn things around, change systems, review policies and procedures, identify issues, whatever. But then when I expect action on those and I expect it quickly, or what that leads to massive problems, and I get myself into all sorts of trouble. Hence why social skills and relationships is low. Very, very low for me. I'm blunt to the point of being a 4x2 to the head. So I know I couldn't do a live one of this, but I'm happy to chat through comments on that. Like I said, very, very concerning for me that's what has come back, and that they've come back 3 months later and said it's a glitch in the system. Come on, guys, really? Number one, that glitch should never have occurred when we're talking about assessing people, funding people with disability, looking at somebody's functional capacity, etc. Like if I wasn't a somewhat versed person on these things, I would have looked at that first result and gone, oh my God, wow, like I guess, maybe I am more functional than what, like, as I said, I asked Jen whether she was reporting on me or, the person that she would like me to be some days. So, yeah, it is a bit of a worry. So there you go. There's the update from the NDIS. There was a glitch in the VINELAND, guys. Look out for your new responses that might indicate your actual level of functioning. shit fighting a schmozzle much?